Fighters, chief second only. Chief second only. Chief second only. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Chief second only. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. You all know what we expect out of each other. The trunks are good here. The trunks are good here. Let's go to work.
So we're set to go in this super welterweight encounter between two fighters who are self-described boxers. And Ronnie Austion especially believes that he and Hicks are going to engage in a boxing match. Hicks believes he may have to go after Ronnie Austion. We'll see how that works out as we head into the first round of our 8 rounds. Joseph Hicks, living in Las Vegas now, trained and sparred out there with his brother, Adriel Holmes Jr., who's going to be in our main event up next. And he said it's great to be on the same card with him, and he's really happy about that.
So far, both fighters trying to establish that jab, and it's crazy because in the fighter meetings, Al, you know, Hicks did say he was gonna bring the fight and put pressure, which I believe so. But Austin said he was gonna bring pressure to him, which I think he's the smaller guy, and I think he should box a little bit more. Well, we'll see how the fight develops.
I think Austin thinks his guile can get him far in this fight as well. He believes he's got the same kind of experience. So we'll see how it plays out. Both men are by nature boxers. Austin, born and raised in Detroit, also now living in Las Vegas like Hicks. He's been there for 8 years. And again, I mentioned he hasn't had a regular boxing match in 5 years. He was in the Team Combat League where they literally box. It's a different format. They box around, then they give way to one of their teammates boxing around. It's a crazy format.
I was able to cover some of those fights at Team Combat League. Yeah.
So anyways, back in boxing now, and he's hoping that he can make this count. First round, both men kind of figure out what they can do offensively.
So far it's been battle of jabs for both fighters, of course. Hicks with the longer jab, he was successful there. That was a good solid jab by Hicks.
He's got the reach advantage in this fight, so he hopes that he can use it.
Looks like they're trying to, counter each other. A lot of Cadillac-like reflexes by both fighters.
Under a minute left to go in round 1. It's been a feeling out process for both fighters, both men using their jabs. And there's Hicks coming with the right hand behind it. Austin using his own jab. He feels like his boxing skills can keep him right in this fight.
Tell you what, Austin throws the jabs, but really hasn't hit Hicks with the jab. He's more hitting in the glove. Yeah. If anybody's been successful with the jab, it's been Hicks so far in this round. He's missed some jabs too, don't get me wrong. But he was a little bit busier and he landed some good overhand rights, talking about Hicks.
Yeah, so that'll do it for round number 1 in this 8th rounder. And both these men are trying to go back to the corner and figure out what they can do offensively. Well, tomorrow night, super featherweight contender Eduardo Rocky Hernandez will face Thomas Matisse in Mexico. And then Saturday, David Nayika takes on Tommy Karpensi in the main event at Viaduct Event Center in Auckland, New Zealand. Meanwhile, Dream Boxing presents another thrilling night of boxing from Berlin as Etinosa Olahia takes on Alexander Pavlov. And on it goes with great boxing action on the zone.
Okay, we're going to build, but not too quick. We got 8 rounds. He's still fresh. Good? All right, stay focused. That's all you got to do is focus for 3 minutes and he can't fucking touch you.
We head into this round number 2, this 8-rounder, and it is Ronnie Austion from Detroit in the green trunks and Joseph Hicks from Grand Rapids, Michigan, now living in Las Vegas, as is Austion. Two boxers who had great amateur experience getting in the ring with each other. Hicks sparred with Tim Tszyu and Terrence Crawford out in Las Vegas, and said those were meaningful experiences in their recent fights.
Well, so far they keep jabbing at each other, and it's Hicks that is beating them to the jab now.
Yeah, they're both trying to establish that punch early in this fight. Hicks told us at the fighter meeting, this may be the kind of fight where I'm going to have to take control because I don't know if Austin is going to fight at, he'll want to slow it down, and that is kind of what's happening, although Hicks himself has not pressed the pace yet.
It's kind of like both guys are just trying to measure the distance, try to get in the right range to let their power shots go, or their combinations go. Because so far it's been a lot of jabs. There's Hicks again with a double jab, but not letting his combos flow. But same thing for Austin. There you see him get in with the jab, they get crowded and they start holding.
I mentioned the sparring that Hicks has done, but Austin has sparred with Gennady Golovkin quite a bit. He might have taken a few right hands like Hicks just landed against him, but he thought that sparring was very valuable for him. There's Hicks trying to dial up a little offensive pressure, which we may see more of as the next round or two progresses. We're halfway through, more than halfway through round number 2.
Yeah, it seems like Hicks is stepping it up a little bit more, not too much. Being a little bit more aggressive. It is a 8-round fight, but he definitely was more aggressive, more successful with the jab. Every time he lands that jab, he needs to let that right hand go quick, be fast and explosive with it. If he does that, I think he'll be successful, but this is a pretty good round for Hicks.
Hicks continuing to push the jab out. Too wide and didn't get there, but he has landed some rights during this round. Hicks told us he wanted to go to the body as well in this fight, and Austin actually said that as well. They both want to do a little more body work, but from this distance, probably not.
Well, they got to get a little bit closer. I mean, and so far, I'm telling you, the guy that is cutting that distance is Hicks.
There they both go downstairs. Well, we want to remind you that tomorrow night, Eduardo Rocky Hernandez is going to face Thomas Matisse in the main event. This should be a really good one. Hernandez, an all-action Mexican, looks to get back into title contention, and Matisse is a tough out. So that should be a very, very good fight on DAZN. Don't miss it.
Coach Flick, you see him, he was in Houston for a while at Prince Gym, now working with Joseph Hicks.
Yeah, he was in his corner for his last fight, and he's hoping this one will be as successful. We mentioned that Hicks in his last fight beat Ricardo Villalba over 6 rounds. Overhand right by Hicks and an uppercut, so he has come out with purpose here in this round. And Ronnie Austin is, while he said he would probably be tactical, it's been a little more than tactical because he has not dialed up much offense yet in this fight.
Yeah, it seems to me like Austin is waiting a little bit too much. Seems like he's trying to counter over Hicks's shot, but Hicks he's got speed. Speed is power, but if you see Hicks, he's at the beginning of that round, he was very explosive with that combination punching out. I like to see him do more of that. I think he's in a good position now after that. The way that round started, to really start pressing more and pushing Austin back.
It's interesting. Hicks felt that in his last fight against Mencia, he didn't warm up well enough and had trouble in the early rounds. And in this fight, while he has done well, he hasn't gotten off to a monstrously quick start, but he is starting to pick up the pace offensively.
Yeah, way different from that first fight. You're right, because he said it. He said felt like he was stuck in sand, and his goal for this fight was to start a little bit faster, and he is.
Yeah, for the most part, he's had more offense early than he did in that other fight.
Throwing body shots there, Hicks, with the left hand to the body.
Austion's having a really hard time cutting the distance and getting hit with some counter punches as he comes in. We're halfway through round number 3 of this 8-rounder, and so far the offense has mostly belonged to Joseph Hicks, the Grand Rapids born and now Las Vegas residing super welterweight.
Yeah, Hicks, he's fighting very, very smart. You can see in his eyes, he's very focused. He's a smart fighter. He's a student of the game. You could tell the way he's trying to time Austin. He's trying to counter him. He's quick. He's quick with that jab. That's that triple jab again with that overhand right.
And Austin's vast amateur background and the fact that he is a good ring technician is showing up here in the sense that it's not easy for Hicks to figure out a way to pour on the offense against him.
Yeah, well, he offsets Hicks' rhythm by, as soon as he sees that Hicks is getting some kind of rhythm or landing the jabs and combinations, he holds him. He leans his body on him to offset that speed, that rhythm that Hicks has going.
So we wind down here in this round, and it was another one in which most of the offense belonged to Hicks. Well, pound for pound superstar Canelo Alvarez is going to put his unified WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles on the line against undefeated #1 ranked mandatory contender Edgar Berlanga on Mexican Independence Day, Saturday from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Here we see Hicks with that double, triple jab, trying to cut that distance, miss with that overhand. Then he tries to go to the body, and he's a little bit successful, but you see Austin holding on to him, trying to offset his rhythm, what we were talking about, Al.
Yeah. As you aptly described it, El Diamante. Al Bernstein here with Raul Marquez as we bring you our boxing here tonight. Big Time Boxing USA series continuing on as we show young fighters coming up, and one of them is Joseph Hicks. Although he is 30 years of age, he got a late start because of his amateur career, but he said, when people ask me, do I have to rush things along because I'm 30? Well, he said, I always tell them, I could be the second coming of B-Hop. Of course, talking about Bernard Hopkins, who fought well into his 40s and was a champion even in his 40s. Not too many of those guys around.
There's not.
Maybe him and Archie Moore were the only ones.
Hey, what about George Foreman?
George Foreman, too, yeah.
He won the heavyweight title. I fought on that undercard when he knocked out Michael Moore.
Oh, yes, you did.
At the MGM Grand.
You are correct,
yes, sir.
Round number 4, Austin in the green has been trying to box against Joseph Hicks, but taking some shots like that body punch that he just got hit with. Austin 10-2 as a pro. In his first actual boxing match in about 5 years, though, he fought in the Team Combat League. And I wonder if that's an impact. He hasn't been in a sustained fight like this for a long time. In that
Very
format,
possible.
they don't fight all the way through.
Very possible, but he, like he said, he has been, he's sparred Broner in the past, Triple G, Tim Tszyu. There's a saying in boxing when you got that sparring mentality, like he's like a sparring mate. So I don't know if that's affected him, since.
Well, he wants to certainly get going. He's got a 10-2 record, and he's hoping to get a win that will energize. He's got 7 knockouts, but we haven't seen evidence of any power shots from him yet. There he tries a counter left hook against Joseph Hicks. And you almost get the feeling Hicks is kind of calculating how quickly can I ramp up my offense here and do it in a careful and cautious mode.
Yeah, you could see Hicks is really coming on in this round. Landed more explosive combinations, letting his shots go. the more he lets go, his punches and bunches, the harder it is for Austin to hold on to him. Right there, he's gotta push him away. He's gotta keep, you know, he holds him with the other hand, gotta hit him with the other hand to the body. Gotta push him off. Let the referee know that, hey, he's holding on to me. Break us apart. I'm here to work.
Half a minute left to go here in round number 4 of our 8-rounder. Joseph Hicks continues to push forward against Austion, lands a loose short left hook. The defensive skills of Austion have, even though Hicks has done most of the offensive work, have prevented Hicks from landing some of the big shots that he wants to, but he's likely piling up some rounds, though we certainly don't know how the judges are scoring it. And we will reach the halfway mark of this super welterweight encounter. And next week, Riyadh season card, the Wembley Stadium edition, is heading to London for a huge showdown between British heavyweights Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois on September 21st, and then Francis Ngannou taking on Ferreira in a battle of the giants. You see Eric Belanger, the coach of Ronnie Austion, and when we visited with them, he felt that his fighter could utilize his experience in his ring generalship to win this fight. It's been a struggle, though, so far, as Austion, the 30-year-old in the green trunks with a 10-2 record, is taking on 30-year-old Joseph Hicks, who is from Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're both living in Las Vegas now. They're both men with terrific amateur backgrounds. And right now, the difference is that Joseph Hicks is landing some big shots, although Austin just got a good punch in.
But you can see the work that he's been doing in Vegas. Talking about Joseph Hicks, it's been paying off. It's been paying off. I see his improvement from this last fight. You know, he did start faster. He's trying to make the fight. He's being aggressive. But, you know, what do you do when Austin holds you on the inside? You know, you got to push him up. You got to keep tapping away. Like I said, let the referee break you apart. Throw punches and bunches.
And Gerard Wright does separate them. Kind of incumbent upon him sometimes to do that. Austin landing some good jabs in this round. And now he jabs downstairs. And a nice right hand by Ronnie Austion. Nothing that I think shook Hicks, but certainly something that landed. So he's showing some signs of offense here in round number 5, and that is certainly required based on the way this fight's going. And there he is doing some of the holding on the inside. Hicks trying to push him off.
Yeah, right when Hicks landed that 1-2 over the top, that overhand right. Tell you what, Hicks is bringing it. He promised he's going to make the fight, and that's what he's doing. Good body shot there, left hook to the body by Hicks. He needs to turn around and go to the other side, both sides of the body, punish both sides.
Hicks is a very good body puncher. He showed that in his last fight against Mancia, and he's starting to show it now.
I'm telling you, the more combinations Hicks throws, the more Austin is gonna go hold on. He's wearing him down. He's breaking him.
Under a minute left to go here in round number 5. Still to come. Ardrell Holmes Jr., the brother of Joseph Hicks, who worked with him, going to be taking on Hugo Noriega in our main event. And Ardrell Holmes Jr. sparred quite a bit with Joseph Hicks.
You see Hicks push Austin away. That was good. When Hicks gets in the inside, right now Austin, he looks tired. He needs to. Hicks needs to bend his legs and dig to the body hard. Both sides of the body. He's trying, but Austin is all over him, trying to crowd him.
Well, that'll do it for another round in which Joseph Hicks tried to press the action to some effectiveness. Well, Saturday on DAZN, David Nyika fights Tommy Karpinski in the main event at Viaduct Event Center in Auckland, New Zealand. And you'll see it all on DAZN. Lots of boxing action on DAZN, the face of boxing and the platform for boxing.
That was a solid jab. That was a really good jab by Austin. But he needs more of those jabs.
He's been
kind of like a jab and then pushed him, and then you see Hicks miss with an overhand right. That was a little bit more of a push, but that was he timed it right. But you know, one jab is not going to win the round.
No, in that round though, Austin did do a little bit more offensively. Maybe not enough to win the round, but he did at least begin an offensive output, and for him, that's going to be essential as we head into the latter part of this fight. We're headed into round number 6. An 8-rounder, super welterweights. Joseph Hicks in the white trunks, 30-year-olds, 10-0. Ronnie Austion, 10-2, also a 30-year-old. Two men with great amateur backgrounds, but Hicks has been a little more successful as a pro. Overhand right by Austin.
Land, yeah. But
trying to get that in.
Hicks was ready for it. He blocked that.
Warning from right. I don't know what's that for. Might be for the holding.
I was trying to figure that out too, Al.
It wasn't during the holding. Yeah, I could see him maybe giving him a warning for holding it somewhat. Again,
there's that jab.
Yeah, Ronnie Austin, when he gets that jab going, it can be very effective.
How about doubling it, tripling that jab, and then coming with the overhand right over? Yeah, there he goes. Nice overhand right by Austin. I tell you what, he found the right distance for that overhand right with the jab, but it was only one jab. Throw more jabs.
And he landed that left hook a moment ago. So a little more offense from Ronnie Austin, and he's having himself a better 6th round certainly than some of the previous rounds. Hicks trying to go downstairs with that uppercut. Hicks a very good body puncher and hasn't been in a position to do that as much as he would like. And there's Austin going downstairs, and he and his trainer Mark Belanger said they wanted to do that more. He hasn't been doing that much of it. A little over a minute left to go here in round number 6.
That jab again? Hey, you saw the Austin jab.
Probably the best round Austin's had in this fight.
It might be his round. It might be his round, yes.
I agree.
Maybe his 2nd round that he won in my unofficial score. I mean, I really haven't been keeping score, but if anything, maybe he won another round, maybe this round.
Here comes Hicks now, power punching his way at the end of this round, maybe trying to steal this round if he can. And there's the awkward work on the inside that we've seen a lot of in this fight. Hicks now throwing that uppercut, which is thrown. The right hand has not been straight enough to land for Joseph Hicks. He just hasn't been able to, it's been curling around, and part of that is Austin's defense as well.
The way Austin lays on him, there it goes again. So, hey, throw more uppercuts. You know, he changed that overhand right to uppercut and come up with the left hand too with uppercut.
So round number 6 passes into the night, and for Ronnie Austin, hey, it was the best one he's had this evening. Let's see if that gives him any energy for these final rounds. Crowd here in Flint, Michigan, getting ready for, as we take a look back at the last round.
That jab that we were talking about from Austin, that set up that overhand right. He needs more of that. He finally found that distance with the jab to down that right, but then we see Hicks all over him again, and you see Austin trying to hold on to him, trying to survive.
Not much of that landed, though.
No.
And I think at the end of the day, that's probably a round that slipped away from Hicks, but for Ronnie Austin, it was beneficial. And there, he's telling him, when I think about the roundhouse right, don't throw it so roundhouse. Coach Flick telling him that, I think. Heading into round 7 of this 8-rounder, Joseph Hicks in the white, Ronnie Austion in the green, a couple of 30-year-olds in the super welterweight division. A fight controlled mostly by Hicks, but in the last round, Ronnie Austion was able to get some work done. We'll see if that continues here in the 7th. Joseph Hicks feels he is ready right now to face a top 10 fighter. I don't know if that's ambitious as a goal for him at this point. It might be a little too ambitious, but he feels like he wants to get in with competition like that. But he has to deal with the man in front of him tonight, and that's Ronnie Austion, who he has mostly been effective against, but hasn't been able to really hurt him badly or dominate as much as he might like. But he's certainly winning most of the rounds.
Oh, he's definitely winning this round. So far, Austin hasn't really thrown any punches. It's been all Hicks with his combination punching, with his jab. He's pressing the action. He's making the fight.
Gerard Wright warning Austin for holding. We've talked about it. He's done it quite a bit in this bout.
I'll tell you what, those warnings might help Hicks, because now he could attack, and then, Austin has it in his head. I can't hold. If I hold, they're going to take a point away. So that'll give Hicks more time to connect with combinations, and that'll force Austin to also throw, take more risks. That's what knockouts happen now.
Yeah, and we'll see if it does now. Minute left to go here in round number 7. Hicks landing a short right hand on the inside.
So far, this round's been all Joseph Hicks.
Yeah, what offense there has come from him. And again, kind of a side headlock for Austin. He's running the risk of getting a point deducted from referee Wright. Counter right hand by Austin. That was one of his better counter punches. We haven't seen too much of that from him. Half a minute left to go in what is the penultimate round in the super welterweight battle. No knockdowns. No one's really been hurt badly in this fight, though Joseph Hicks has provided most of the offense.
Yeah. A little bit of excessive holding, I believe. Yeah.
Well, and Wright did warn him, so we'll see how that plays out here. Hicks landing some pretty good shots here toward the end of the round. That right hand kind of got there. He's been missing that punch a bit. And so, round 7 is done, and we have one more left in the super welterweight encounter. And Joseph Hicks and Ronnie Austion trying to figure out what to do in this final round. And coming up next, our main event. Adriel Holmes Jr., undefeated 154-pounder, fighting in front of his home crowd for the very first time as a professional, coming off a big knockout win over Marlon Harrington in his last fight, hoping that he can produce more power this evening. When he takes on Hugo Noriega, there is the man who was a Cuban standout amateur, over 250 amateur fights. He's 10-2 as a pro. Only 2 losses by decision against very good fighters, and they feel that they have him ready for what is a very important fight for him at age 34. We head into the final round of this super welterweight battle between Joseph Hicks and Ronnie Austion. These rounds have, for the most part, except for the 6th round, been pretty much the same, with Joseph Hicks dominating offensively. Hicks and Austion, both 30-year-olds, both living in Las Vegas, both from Michigan originally, and they both thought defense would be important. Austin's defense has been most of what he's offered here tonight. Some of it's been very good, but not enough offense coming from him.
Well, Joseph Hicks came out very aggressive in this round, landing some good body shots. Now the referee's got to fix the tape on the glove. But yeah, he's This might give Austin a little break. Well, actually, maybe both fighters need a little break, Al. They've been pretty busy. I feel like Austin's been busy holding on a lot.
Yeah, he hasn't done too much
Hicks,
volume punching. But
Hicks has been throwing a lot of shots.
he's
busy
in the offense.
There you
There's
see
more
again.
holding,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you that he's courting. He's already got a warning. Right,
There we
may
go.
take a point away. Well, Austin pleaded his case well enough to not have the point deducted. We'll see if that continues here. He's already in enough trouble in this fight. If, in fact, the judges are seeing it the way we have, halfway through the 8th round, the final round of this fight, and again, action stalls on the inside.
Yeah, Austin trying to crowd him, not allowing Hicks to throw his power shots.
You can
Not
see,
giving him room,
you can
yeah.
see Wright, the referee, just thinking to himself, should I take a point away at this point?
I think he's ready to.
Yeah, he's ready to pull the trigger.
He's still holding right there.
And I think he's just mulling it over, and maybe he's thinking there's only a minute left to go in this fight. At this juncture, maybe not, but we'll see. And both of the gloves have tape dangling off for Hicks, and that's a danger. So that's something that the referee might want to look at, even with the short time left in the fight.
Fight getting a little bit sloppy at the end, and of course, because Austin's holding and not allowing Hicks to throw his power shots and his combinations, and he's trying. Look at the way he's lunging now.
And Joseph Hicks has thrown that right hand very wide in this fight. So this fight will go the distance. Not a shock, but one of the things that maybe was a little surprising was that it was tougher for Hicks to get his offense going. Ronnie Austion didn't show much offense at all. Either way, this will go the distance, and it will be in the judges' hands. And it appears to us Joseph Hicks might have done enough to win the fight. Well, now, with only about 10 seconds left, we're going to fix the gloves.
Should have just let him go, Al. I mean, got 10 seconds left.
Yeah, both those gloves have had tape dangling for most of this round, but they fixed one of them at least now. Let's see, we'll work on the other one. We've had a lot of repairs earlier in the show, as you remember. Right at the beginning, the ring needed to be repaired from one of the undercard fights, and that was successfully done. And now this one will end, it appears, without a knockdown or a knockout. Joseph Hicks still on the attack, and Ronnie Austion trying to fend him off.
And the tape is loose again.
That might be one of the major stories in this fight, that they couldn't get that fixed.
That was a long 10 seconds.
It was a long 10 seconds. So, in a fight that Joseph Hicks, in all likelihood, took, it was an affair that offense didn't quite get going, certainly not for Ronnie Austion, and not as much as maybe Joseph Hicks would like, but sometimes it's that kind of matchup. And so these two
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge David DeYoung scores it 79-73. Judge Vincent Santino scores it 78-74. And Judge Luis Delgado scores it 80-72. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Joseph "Shug" Hicks.
So Joseph Hicks gets his 11th win as a professional and continues his march in the super welterweight division. A fight in which he was able to get the win, but not probably do quite as much offense as he would like, but some of that had to do with Ronnie Austion being a very clever ring general in there. And so Joseph Hicks, the Grand Rapids native now living in Las Vegas, who will now go back to the dressing room to see his brother Ardreal Holmes Jr. in the main event and root for him